Hello guys, welcome to my channel once again. In our video today, we are going to look at how much a student needs to study in the UK. So if you're planning to study in the UK and you don't know how much you need to study in UK, then this video is for you as I'm going to provide you with all the costs you need to study, live in the UK. I'm going to break it down. I'm going to talk about the cost of living. I'm going to talk about the tuition fees. I'm also going to talk about the visa admission and visa fees. So, without much waste of time, let's get started. First, we want to talk about the cost of living in the UK. So, the cost of living in the UK depends on many factors like location, accommodation, lifestyle, and course fees. So, now let's start with location. So London is significantly more expensive than other parts of the UK. So what this means is that if you are planning to study in London, then you have to budget for a lot of money because London is very expensive. Accommodation. Renting a private flat will be more expensive than living in a shared student house or halls or residence. So what this means is that if you want to spend a lot of money, then you should rent a flat. But if you want to economize, if you don't have much money and you want to economize the money, then you can look into shared student house or halls of residence. Then the next thing is lifestyle. Students who enjoy eating out and socializing regularly will naturally spend more than those who cook at home and stay in more often. So, if you're the type of student that like eating outside and socializing all the time, you're going to spend a lot of money. But if you're the type that you stay indoors and you cook your own food, then you're not going to spend so much. And then we have the course fees. Some courses such as medicine and dentistry have higher tuition fees than others. Yeah, so if you're applying to study maybe a medical program or medicine, dentistry, these courses usually attract higher tuition fees. Okay, so that's that for the cost of living. Now we want to break it down. Let's see how much you can spend on accommodation, food, transport, and utilities in the UK. So the first one here is accommodation. The lowest you can expect to spend for accommodation in the UK is around £439 per month. And then for food, you should budget around £133 per month. Transportation, £75 per month. Bills, which include utilities and internet, £70 per month. Other expenses, including clothes, books, socializing, around £261 per month. So, what this means is that on the average, students in the UK can expect to spend around £1,078 per month on living expenses. However, it is important to remember that this is just an average and your individual cost may be higher or lower. So, if you're planning to study in the UK, you should budget around £1,000 per month on your living expenses. Now, we look at the tuition fees. So, how much are you supposed to pay as an international student in the UK? The average tuition fee for international undergraduate students in the UK in 2023-2024 academic year is 11,000 to 17,000 pounds per year. And the average tuition fee for an international postgraduate student is between 14,000 to 20,000 pounds per year. So, if you are planning to study in the UK, this is the tuition fees you should be working with. Okay, for undergraduate students, between 11,000 to 17,000 pounds per year. For postgraduate students, 14 to 20,000 pounds per year. It is important to note that these are just averages, and the actual cost of your studies could be higher or lower. It is always best to check the website of the university you are interested in for the latest information on their tuition fees. Yes, for you to get the accurate tuition fees, it is advisable you check the website of the school you're going to for the most accurate and updated tuition fees. Okay. Now we want to look at the proof of funds. If you want to study in the UK, you need to provide a proof of funds. Okay, a proof of funds mean something you tender in to show that you can take care of yourself, your living expenses, and your tuition fees while you're there in the UK. So when you want to apply for visa, you'll be asked to tender in this document, okay, that shows you can take care of yourself while you're there in the UK. So for proof of funds in the UK, the amount you're going to put depends on two factors. Now let's check out these two factors. The first one is tuition fees. You will need to demonstrate sufficient funds to cover at least the first year's tuition fees or the full course fees if your program is less than a year. This amount will be clearly stated on your confirmation of acceptance for studies, which is a CAS letter. So your proof of funds has to show that you have enough money to cover for at least 1 year of your studies. The next thing is living expenses. You also need to show that you have enough money to support yourself during your studies. The required amount varies depending on your location in the UK. For example, living expenses in London are higher than in other regions. So, your proof of funds should also show that you have enough money to cover for your living expenses while you're there in the UK. Now, let's look at the things you can tender as proof of funds. So, what constitutes proof of funds? The first one here is personal bank statements. Yes, this must cover at least the 28-day period preceding your visa application and display consistent funds meeting the above requirements. So, if you are providing your bank statement, it has to be for a minimum of 28 days. You don't have to present a bank statement that is less than 28 days. And there should also be activity in the account. There should be money coming in, going out. There should be activity in the account, okay, for a minimum of 28 days before you apply for your visa. And then we also have the building society passbooks. So this is similar to bank statements. They must show sufficient funds held for at least 28 days. We also have certificates of deposit. This document confirms a specific amount deposited in your account for at least 31 days before your application and held for 28 days. We also have the bank letter, which is a letter from your bank confirming your account balance and meeting the requirements. We also have the financial sponsorship, which is an official letter from government bodies, scholarships, or sponsors demonstrating their support. And then we also have the student loan, a documentation confirming a government approved student loan covering your expenses. So these are the things that make up your proof of funds, and you can tender any of these documents to show for your proof of funds. Now we want to look at the admission and visa fees. So if you're applying to study in the UK, how much are you supposed to pay for admission? How much are you supposed to pay for visa fee? So the UK universities do not charge application fees unless you're applying through UCAS. So if you're applying for admission to any UK university, they will not ask you for any application fee. But if you're applying through UCAS, you have to pay a certain amount for application fees. And then the UK student visa fees, £490, around 620 USD. If you apply from outside the UK or if you extend or switch to a student visa from inside the UK. So this is the amount you're supposed to pay for your visa fee, about £490. So when you want to apply for your visa, you'll be asked to pay this amount before you can apply for your visa. So guys, this is where we come to the end of this video, and I'm sure you have learned one or two things in this video. If you want to apply for your admission to any university in the UK, feel free to contact me. You can leave me a message in the comment section of this video. If you want to apply by yourself, you make sure you follow the guidelines I provide in this video, and you should be able to apply for admission and visa to study in the UK. Do not forget to like this video, share and subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so. I'll see you guys again in my next video.